Hi guys, welcome to the Q3FY25 numbers. Okay, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about two companies, Shakti Pumps and PNGS GARGI Fashion Jewelry. Okay, now first let us start with PNGS GARGI Fashion Jewelry. So what does this company do and how the result has been? Okay, now if you want to understand this GARGI ka, business model in depth, head over to my business analysis playlist in my YouTube channel. There is this video regarding PNGS GARGI, and you will understand literally every little moving part in the business. Okay, so that is that about उसका business model आपको in depth में समझना चाहिए. ठीक है. Now over here PNGS GARGI क्या करते हैं? PNGS GARGI used to make this fashion jewelry earlier. Okay, and the fashion jewelry का अगर आप price point के बारे में बात करते हो, the price point ranges from let's say around 500 rupees can go to up to even 2000 to 5000 rupees. Now what has happened over the years, right, or not over the years, एक साल में you could see that these people move to from this artificial या fashion jewelry what we talk about, they moved from there to a natural या diamond jewelry भी बेचना. ठीक है. And this 14 carat का वो जो diamond jewelry that they are selling, right, it ranges from यहाँ पे the price point ranges from 25 to 50,000. Now over here there were a lot of good things happening in the business. One was a store expansion that happened in a very swift manner. They were opening a lot of stores. Also the existing stores also में SSG high था. So as a result what happened? Volume growth भी आ रहा है on one end. On the other end value growth is coming because you are shifting toward a higher margin product. So product mix changes happening for a better, right? And as a result these people were able to witness a huge operating leverage, right? And this quarter is a good testament also to show you that things has been working well for them. Like a lot of you ask, like how do we know that product mix is happening? How do we know that the product mix change is good? Because if the product mix change is happening over here, you will see that reflection in terms of margin, you will see that reflection in terms of operating leverage. आपका PAT grow में it would be very very visible over here, and that has been the same case similarly for GARGI. अगर आप GARGI का if you look at Q3 का numbers ना, Q3 you will see the sales has grown by 100%. I would say 104% to be precise. And if you look at the PAT grew from 3 to 9 crores. Okay, like you can imagine the kind of operating leverage that this business is getting. But having said that, these numbers are not the real numbers. Okay, now what do I mean by real numbers? Now coming back to the business model, remember in the name there is PNGS GARGI, right? PNGS का मतलब क्या है? PN Gadgil and Sons. This is the same Gadgil company that makes that gold jewelry over there. Jewelry sector में जब हम बात करते हैं, we compare it with Kalyan, Senko and all. So both GARGI and PNG Gadgil and Sons जो jewelry बनाता है, these both have the same promoter. Okay, now with PNG Gadgil and Sons के पास जो promoter company है, even these people उनका जो बड़ा shop में there used to be a shop in shop of this GARGI. ठीक है, उनका एक बड़ा shop में let's say there was a small छोटा outlet for GARGI. Similar, have you guys gone to Shopper Stop earlier? You remember in Shopper Stop there is multiple brands in one segment. So let's say if GARGI is in Shopper Stop, उसको हम बोलते हैं shop in shop. एक shop के अंदर दूसरा shop होता है. ठीक है. Now with this shop in shop में जो this PN Gadgil and Sons के पास जो था, right, it used to be a FOCO, which is what franchised owned and company operated का stores था. Now they've converted the model from FOCO to FOFO, franchised owned and franchised operated. So as a result what is happening, there is this one time आपका sales जो आता है as a result, right, because a lot of these changes are happening, you get a lot of cash because you're converting from FOCO to FOFO and all of these things, right? As a result यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है? Because of that you're seeing the numbers that I told you are not the real numbers. So if I exclude this FOCO to FOFO conversion जो हो रहा है, if you look at it, and if I consider the actual sale to consumer, that means what? Let's say I'm going to GARGI and I'm purchasing a jewelry, right? That is the actual sale. I don't know, as an investor also, I don't want the sale coming from, I don't want any cash coming from let's say a store being converted. FOCO से FOFO convert हुआ, उसका cash मुझे नहीं चाहिए. That is a sale I don't want, because as a business, as a dhanda, how do I make money? By selling more and more of jewelry, right? So when you consider that actual sale to the consumer जो हुआ है, if you look at it, the sales grew by 80% and the PAT that is there, that grew by 120%. So you see, in spite of ये जो if you take this conversion, if you take away all of these things and consider the actual sale, in spite of that, do you see the pace of growth is really high, and they've been able to sustain this high pace of sales growth for a couple of quarters now, right? You see the sales grew by 80%, and there is also an immense operating leverage also, because यहाँ पे उन्होंने PAT नहीं दिया है, they've given PBT and the PBT grew by 120%. Okay, now coming back, other than that, if you see, let's talk about the most important thing. So over here the fact that it is growing by 120%, the PAT is growing, you you know that कि like यहाँ पे that the product mix has changed, there is nothing wrong with the business, value growth भी सही से हो रहा है. Now let's talk about the volume growth part of the business. Let's talk about the store expansion, because starting of the year they told they want to open around 10 exclusive stores, and as of now if you look at it, right, as of the date you see they have opened 9 exclusive brand stores that are there, and 39 उनका shop in shop stores है, and around 30 franchises है with PNGS and Sons which they recently converted. Okay, so overall with store expansion is also really good, everything is great. Okay, over to the business. Okay, now this is okay, like the Q3 ka update has been fantastic, there is nothing to complain and everything. What matters is I was a bit hesitant actually to make videos for both the companies, that is Shakti Pumps as well as GARGI, because I believe the business is in that stage where you need much more clarity than just looking at the investor presentation. Like I would say you have to, like I have to catch up with the con call to understand, because of a couple of reasons, right? Like see, we are already approaching Q4 ka quarter, which is just already we are in Q4, so we need to know what is the plan like looking for the next year. Why this is important is because when GARGI came for the IPO, they told in the next 2 years, which is this FY25, this 2 years will get over, they told like is 2 years we want to reach 100 crore in target in terms of a top line. Now I think this 100 crore in target will not happen, and I also think you shouldn't consider it, because repeatedly they kept telling in the con call, once they started like don't take 100 crore into consideration, don't take it into face value, we just had an aspiration, it's an internal target, don't take it into consideration. Because if you look at this 9-month ka sales, if you see it grew by 63%, 63% बोल रही हूँ, उसका 9 months का अगर आप देखते हो it is around 63 crores. Q4 में to reach 100 crore, it could be a little bit tough, because Q3 is your best quarter. The only hope for you to Q4 mein, if they can pull it off really great and well, because Q4 mein there are two things, one is Valentine's Day and the other one is aapka Eid. Okay, Eid is shifted to March this time, right? Preponement of Eid hua hai, so these two can really give a push in Q4, which we usually don't see. Q4 is a bit of a lean quarter, so maybe because of that we could see a little bit that inching towards 100 crore, but I think 100 crore hona thoda मुश्किल हो सकता है, ठीक है. So now already we know all of the guidance that they had given, they're getting closer to that. FY25 में almost inching towards 100 crore. Itna they wanted to open 10 stores every year and inch up to 100 stores in the next 2 years. So all of this is happening. So what is next? FY25 में क्या scene है, ठीक है? Because this in the last, when they came to IPO and the first con call was made, they spoke about store expansion, they spoke about the top line, they spoke about the product mix change, which also we saw it happening. So what is the next target for the business? I think that is important, because let's say if in the con call they go ahead and they tell कि like आगे जाके हमारा pace of growth कम होने वाले हैं, or if they tell something like store expansion, they would be reducing the number of stores that they open, all of this could be a little bit negative news for the business. So that is why I'm literally hoping and waiting for the con call, and I hope the con call is really great and there is no any kind of negative or any kind of bad news in the con call. So that is my only concern with the business. Now other than this, if you look at it, I think they are venturing out into this kids wear and the fashion wear for women, that is there. Nothing as to like fixed, nothing fixed or in paper. They just floated this idea in the last con call, in Q2 ka con call, and they've also recently raised money, right? QIP may they raised money around I forgot how much money they raised, but again that also they raised for store expansion only. So overall good. I really hope this pace of growth, the momentum that is there with the business, whether it is in terms of store expansion or the top line, continues to grow. Okay, another reason I also want to catch up with the con call is because see, earlier 100% used to come from this jewelry segment. Now this diamond jewelry is coming. What is the mix of this diamond jewelry and this artificial jewelry? And going forward for the next year, do they plan to increase this diamond jewelry portion compared to that? Because it's a higher margin product, right? That is why. So all of these answers I need from the con call, and I hope the answers are are really good to hear, and they're not negative. Okay. So that's it with PNGS GARGI. All great. Everything is great, nothing wrong with the company. Just need to catch up with the con call and see that if things are also headed in the right direction or not. वही मेरा एक concern है यहाँ पे, ठीक है. The next is we will talk about Shakti Pumps. Okay, Shakti Pumps का again business model is I wouldn't say quite simple, but again it's a fairly good business अगर आप बात करते हो. So Shakti Pumps का क्या होता है? You would see farmers when they're plowing the field, they use all these they use this mechanical motor, yeah, mechanical water pump that is there, right? Yeah, electric electrical water pump, you know, where they have to on the switch and then the water will flow and everything. Now what happens with this electrical water pump is it becomes a bit tedious to operate, one. And the second thing is, you know, all these farmers, they live in T3 T4 cities, and यहाँ पे there is no electricity at all, right? Electricity का बहुत problem होता है. You do not know when the current will come, current will go, so they can't rely on this electrical pumps also. So what they started is the government has started pushing for solar pumps, that you know अगर आप solar pumps लगाते हो, all of this problem will be wasted and electricity भी आप use नहीं करोगे because electricity का खर्चा भी ज़्यादा होता है, right? So they started doing this solar pump. But solar pump का क्या negative है? एक negative है because let's say electrical pump का your installation cost is very low, but over the time, because every year you have to pay your electricity bill every month, your everyday का खर्चा is ज़्यादा. In solar pump it is ulta, okay? Like your one time cost is high, that is your installation cost. After that it is easy peasy. Now like it is the same way, if I have to tell you, in your house also you'll have this experience, is electrical geyser. आपका जो geyser होता है bathroom में, where you turn on the switch and off, you can buy anything from Amazon, right? It is just costing you like what, 5,000 10,000 rupees. So the one time cost is very low. But having said that, every time if you're using it, if your consumption is high, right, आपका electricity bill में वो it will reflect over the years, right? 2,000 5,000 आपका bill आ सकता है. On the similar end, same logic है. देखो, एक तो solar, it is the same to same thing, it's just different names है. But you know, everything in life can be connected to your day-to-day life, to the basic most things. Similarly, अगर आप solar वो जो पैनल लगाते हो ना अपना टेरेस में, right, आपका one time installation cost is more. But having said that, lifelong jingalala you will have, right, because you're not going to have that recurring cost coming every month, right? So that is the same thing over here. When you talk about the farmers also, उनका जो pump है, it is the same thing, okay? So here what has happened, you know, obviously when the one time cost, when your installation cost is so high, the farmer is very reluctant now, because they don't have that kind of money to put, and they don't understand it. So now what the government has come, and the government is pushing over here to, you know, to get this solar pump installed. So how does this happen? Let's say a farmer, I'm a farmer, okay, and I want solar pump to be installed in my farm, okay? So I have to pay 10% of the cost, and then I go to the agency, be like, bhai dekh, and I submit the documents to him, and I go to this nodal agency and I tell him like, bhai dekh, I need this pump in my farm, okay? Then what will happen? I will pay 10% of the cost. The state government that is there will pay 60% of the cost, and the renewable energy guy that is there, the Ministry of Renewable Energy that is there, new and वो 30% का cost देता है. So 100% of the cost is split between 3 people, okay? The nodal agency के पास farmer जाता है. The nodal agency will start bidding, okay? Like listen, this so and so orders are there, contract is there, who wants it? So whoever is all the solar companies that are there, solar pump companies that are there, like Shakti pumps and some other 2-3 companies, they will come, they will bid. Whoever is the lowest bidder, they will get the order. Now once Shakti pumps gets the order, he has to go and install it in this मेरा farm में आके उसको install करना पड़ेगा. Once he installs it, I will have to make all the documents, I will submit the documents to the nodal agency, ठीक है? देखो Shakti pumps ने आके मेरा farm में pump install कर दिया, ठीक है? Once they have installed, once I go as a farmer and submit the documents to the nodal agency, what will happen? Then the nodal agency will collect the payments from the state government and the renewable energy, and then they will give it to the Shakti pumps. Whoever has done the work, they will give the payment. So you understand over here how the entire business is, how Shakti pump is making money. I hope this is okay. Okay. Now coming to the most important part over here, if you look at Shakti pumps, if you look at it over here, the guidance had been very strong. Okay. In fact, these people give a quarterly guidance hai, and they told in Q3 they are inching up towards 500 crore ka run rate. Okay. And in Q1 they told pura saal mein we are targeting around 1,750 crores to 1,800 crores in terms of revenue. Okay. And if you look at it now in terms of guidance, if I have to talk, like guidance के हिसाब से उसने बोला था 25% growth on a year-on-year basis. The other thing is they also told is 1,800 crore for the full year, and for Q3 you can expect a 500 crore ka run rate, right? That is what they told. Now when you take these numbers into consideration, you see that the business has actually done exactly what the management has told, right? Because if you look at the 9 month ka revenue आप देखते हो, 9 month ka revenue is only inching up to, you know, around 1,500 crores, right? So yeah, so that is absolutely okay. Now when you talk about it, 9 months ka only they're trying to, they're almost there with the target. Now when you look at it in terms of Q3 में they have done around 649 crore. Target कितना था 500 crore का. How much they have told? 25% on a year-on-year growth. And they have done Q3 on Q3. अगर आप देखते हो, if I have to give you the numbers, Q3 on Q3 the sales grew by 30% on a year-on-year basis. If I talk about PAT, also the PAT grew by a very very strong. अगर आप देखते हो ना, profit after tax grew by 130%. Okay, so all, even if you look at the EBITDA margin improved from 14 to 23-24% आप बोल सकते हो, ठीक है. So all in all, you see all the metrics are good. So what is the problem, right? Like everything, something must be wrong, na? Everything can't be so hunky dory. Okay, so when talking about margins, I know a lot of people have been, like thinking, oh, margin has expanded to 14 to 24%. So here's the thing, Shakti Pumps ka ideal margins for the business is between 15 to 18%, and that's what the management also has been guiding for. The reason you are seeing this huge jump in margin, one of the primary reason is because raw material ka consumption, the cost that is there, that has come down, okay, over the years. So they're able to benefit from that. That is one thing, okay. So that is one of the biggest factor that you see, that the margins are inching up towards this 24-25%, and the management is really told ki like hum jaake aage, we will be targeting that 15 to 18% kind of margins only. So that is one thing. The second thing is, in spite of doing everything right over here, right, in spite of doing like 25-30% ka growth when you've guided for 25%, do you see one thing is the pace of growth for the business has come down. Earlier the business used to grow by 150, 130, in these kind of percentages. From there they've come to a 25% ka growth. Although, do you understand now, there is a little bit of a jinx over here, is the fact that although they have been guided, they did exactly what the guidance is. The fact that the pace of growth has come down here is a small problem, I will tell you over here, right? Because jo gaadi, let's say 100 km per hour mein chal raha tha, now it has come down to around 25 km per hour. This is one thing I will tell you, because earlier kya hota, your growth rate was so high that the valuation that it is there, it was justified. Now what has happened, the growth rate has come down. So it went from a high growth low P engine, now it has come to a high growth high P engine. It has shifted to this case. That is one thing. So the pace of growth coming down little bit is a bit worrisome, I can tell you. The other thing that you have to notice is also, if you remember in Q2, like see, Q2 is a lean quarter for them, okay, because of monsoon season mein utna kuch pump installation nahi hota and everything, right? Now when you compare it Q2 also they grew very zabardast, okay. Even QOQ, if you compare Q1 to Q2 also, if you compare on a QOQ also there was growth. But now that you see Q2 on Q3, if you compare QOQ also, if you see, I mean, although there is seasonality, because see, Q3 is the best season for them, Q3 and Q4, okay. But in spite of that, you see Q2 or Q3 में अगर आप sales growth देखते हो QOQ में, sales hardly grew by 2%. If I look at PAT grew hardly by 2.6%. So it just goes to show you something has happened between this Q2 and Q3 where the pace of growth has come down. Now one thing to question is, we do not know if this pace of growth that came down, is it just a one-time thing? Maybe there could be some orders that didn't get executed. Maybe there has been some delay in installation of pumps, or maybe there could be a delay in getting the orders. Something could have happened over here. So this is one clarity would like to get in con call, as to like what has happened between these 2 months. Everything else is great other than that, okay. So this is the main concern I would tell. Although the result has been great, I mean I wouldn't say result has been great, result is good, but this pace of growth coming down is a bit, I would say, something that is pulling back the business. That is the only thing. Now iska answer, I'm just that is why I told you in the beginning of the video, okay, like I was a bit hesitant to make this video because needed some clarity in the con call. So need to catch up with the con call and see what is how is it going, because other than that, if you see inka order book is very strong. They have 2,000 crore ka order book as we speak right now. So everything is going well. The only thing is that why did this pace of growth come down? Is this pace of growth coming down a momentary quarterly thing because something might have gone wrong in this quarter, some delay or anything, or is it something we could see? Because if it continues to be a 25% growth engine, although what will happen is, right, since the pace of growth comes down over here, the rate at which you make money, that is going to be affected. Because you saw, right, how Shakti Pump went from that 1,000 to 3,000, 2,500, I believe. That swift journey that you saw, right, it was phenomenal with what they have done. But but after that, you know, little bit tick 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 tick, it is coming down, right? I think इन्होंने share split भी किया था after this, so that rate at which that would be a problem to make money. So that is my only concern over here. Let us catch up with the con call and see. My next video will be on Yatharth, because Yatharth ka, you know, the con call is live at, I believe, 12:30. I will attend the con call live and I will make a video on that. Okay, so that's that for the two companies. I'll see you again later. Bye.